putting such heavy emphasis on jungle bans up until this point. Here, I feel like Royal Club's not going to try and starve Clearlove out of junglers whatsoever just because his Eve was so effective. And obviously the Janno ban happens again because the only game they won was the game they banned it.
Well, Gangplank blocking would be great for our pirate friends, but sadly that's not going to happen. It's going to be Rise instead, locked in for Koro. And beastly Rise last game, and letting it go through again. We'll see how that one all works out here with Insect maybe changing things up. Lee Sin last time around, is he going to go to Kha'Zix?
That would be strange. I mean, obviously, he is probably not super happy with his Lee Sin performance, getting counter-ganked at the start of that game, but I mean, he's Insect. He's going to do Lee Sin if it's up, and Rengar's banned.
The comfort is always there for him to fall back onto that. Given to him, they also get 0 Thresh for this game as the Janna being banned out once again. We'll see what happens on the side of Name. He's going to take away Uzi's Lucian, but that still leaves his Twitch up as Kha'Zix is banned, or taken for Clearlove.
Yeah, there's been a lot of Lucian control ever since Uzi had that big game 1. But something that has been strangely just irrelevant in this series is that Aurelia pick. It was such a big deal for their group stages. It is a pretty good pick against Rise. As soon as they get that Sheen, you can go all in with the Aurelia.
Oh!
And that too, I was not expecting this series because I've always seen it as a little bit of a style pick for Uzi, but against Kha'Zix, I imagine he's gonna try and juke around a lot with it. That's bold.
Well, I, for one, am happy to see Uzi playing Vayne here. Hopefully he can live up to his reputation on that champion. Certainly good memories of watching Uzi on Vayne. We'll also be seeing Cola, of course, bringing out Aurelia, which, to be honest, is one of his beastly champions.
Absolutely, 2-0 on it in the group stage. It was one of the main champions that we saw rising to prominence during the LPL regionals, and he really dominated on it in the group stage. Plus, it's good against Rise, which has been so heavily first pick. Surprised we had not seen Aurelia before now.
Gotta say, his play on Aurelia so much cleaner than that Rise. It just looks like he's antsy. He wants to fight. It's what it's what Cola loves to do. He's not a split pusher. He is fight oriented, and Royal Club is throwing together that composition in full right now, rounding this out possibly with a Lulu. That could be Corns again.
I mean, Quickshot mentioned on the analyst desk while Lulu had lost a lot here.
Ooh.
Mid lane Lulu had been good, but yeah, that's going to be just a whole bunch of solo little outplay potential. Not like a huge team fight for Royal Club, but every single one of those guys is threatening 1v1.
It's a bit of a beastly lineup for Royal Club if they start to get ahead. You know, get Fizz going, get Aurelia going, hell, get Lee Sin and Vayne going as well, and that could be bad news. However, you have to feel that there's more diversity to EDG's lineup.
Yeah, EDG's lineup is like a bulldozer in team fights. When you consider it to Royal Club, everything should just be able to run over Rise, Ori, Kha'Zix, Braum, that synergy and the Braum shield around it. If they can group up as 5, as it seems like that's all these teams want to do, vastly superior in those scenarios.
That's ZF love and engage support, so the train could start quite quick once everybody hits level 6 on that side. It's definitely going to be a bloody game again. I think we can say that right off the bat.
And we've been seeing those lane swaps coming in, which is why Uzi's like, well, I should have a fairly safe laning phase with this Vayne to start me rolling.
Yeah, rolling all around on Vayne is definitely one thing he wants to do. Tumbling maybe. Honestly though, Insec is going to be a little bit afraid of the reverse 3-0 because it's just happened to him so many times. It's a mentality thing. I really need to see if it has an impact this game.
A lot of best of 2s throughout the year, or 2-game sets that they would play. So the long game of the mental and physical fortitude coming into play now. And with EDG, whatever talk they had backstage, we said, definitely turned on what they needed coming into these games. Everybody across the board started playing well, and Clearlove stepped up very big for them.
Well, we want to know if you guys believe in the Insect curse. Keep tweeting hashtag EDG win or SHR win to @LOL Esports, and we'll be tallying the votes to get your real-time predictions. But now we are going to get into game number 4 between Edward Gaming and the Starhorn Royal Club and see if Royal Club can go through to another semi-final, or whether EDG will bring us back to a game 5 make or break match.
Yeah, and Royal Club really wants to make it through here, not only so they can make another semi-final, but also so they have a chance to prove, especially for Insec and Zero, the 2 Korean players, to prove that they can beat a Korean team. Surprisingly enough, of teams still in the World Championship, Starhorn Royal Club is the only team not to have faced a Korean team at this point.
Well, we did hear them say they'd be happy to. They want to get that win in. And they are 1 game away from doing it. EDG on the edge of losing this one, but the momentum from game 3 within their pocket here, and we'll see if they can continue to use that. Uzi staying safe, but he's making sure that the blue buff area is guarded. Not too many wards just yet. They're all in the middle of the river to make sure nobody's in or out. FCZF very patient in that play. They actually had a great pincer coming in.
They were really hoping that Uzi got a little bit excited about landing that nice tumble auto attack, but it was not to be.
So, an important start to this one. EDG back on blue. Look like they might be playing it safe for the start of this one. Clearlove will be kicking things off at his red buff. We'll have Nami and FCZF there to help him out. And for now, Uzi and Zero are on the bottom side of the map.
2v2 matchup, Vayne versus Lucian. I definitely think that favors the Lucian, but Uzi has been known to outplay many people on Vayne. And I want to talk a little bit more about this Vayne pick. It's honestly a little bit of Uzi just having so much confidence in himself, because Vayne against Ryze specifically is really suboptimal. In order to just get in range to do damage, he walks right in range of Rune Prison and a whole bunch of burst from Ryze. So unless Royal Club has something really creative planned to avoid Ryze and never teamfight with the Vayne, he's got to get way ahead if they want this to work.
And you're building a Frozen Heart as part of your standard build as well.
Yep.
We'll see how that works out, specifically this lane as well. Easy with that double tap passive to get the stuns, and we may see that here as well. Zero going down to half HP right at the very start.
And just to expand on this lane, this is the Braum Lucian lane. It's Braum's best lane compadre. Double shot just because of Lucian's passive. Super easy stuns. And it's a reason super early on when Braum was a little bit stronger, but no one let you pick the two together. They would always try and break it up. The fact that they're 2v2ing this shows immense confidence.
You got to figure that Zero knows what's coming to him. 10-0 on Braum in the regular season, but still eating the Winter's Bite, obviously to help out Uzi, but they have just been pushed back quite hard. Only a few CS missed there, but they can still continue the pressure as it goes. Just 3 minutes into the game, they found a slight lead, and with EDG having a lead, that's got to be scary. Insec already says, that's too much. I'm gonna pay some attention to bottom lane now. Name walking off by himself, but it may have been exactly what he needed at that time.
And the Braum, actually Zero following this one through, but there is Insec once again coming in. Meanwhile, Cola taking a lot of damage there from Koro at this level 2 point.
Whoa! Really felt like a little bit of not on the same page in that bottom lane. Meanwhile, Clearlove is not in the same place. And when that minion wave hits the turret, it's going to be tricky for Aurelia to stay alive. He's trying to run, but he's too late.
The Koro was even pretty much telling that he was going to go past the turret. Cola stays. First blood going over to Clearlove, starting off the game well again.
Cola not really showing up that well in this series for Royal Club. It's actually going to be on Coral. That's where they have the biggest mismatch, especially with some early pressure and a kill, plus flash down onto Aurelia. Coral may be the one that tries to carry this one out. Add that to the fact that Ryze is so good against the Vayne pick. A lot is on that Ryze's shoulders.
This mid lane, Korn already taking a bit of a beating, although he's keeping up nicely in form, obviously having to burn through the pots and the crystalline flask as FCZF once again will be pulled from outside of turret range there. Nice little condemn onto Name, and if there's ever a time to show you mechanics as an AD carry, he's with Vayne.
Crazy play there. As soon as they get the aggression of their wave at the turret, they're not afraid to go at Nami and FCZF. Another game that's going to give us a lot to look at in the fight phase. That 1 kill so far is all that stands right now, and you can see Royal Club is trying to pressure themselves back into a position to get one for their side. Nice miss, or nice dodge, I should say, on a hook coming out of Zero with that pressure down. You see FCZF and Name a little bit of pressure themselves. The wave too big for now. Gonna wait for the siege to be cleared, and they'll be happy to farm at that.
Continues down there. Actually, it's Uzi that's got an early CS lead. You might attribute that to the fact that Insec did come down to this bottom lane, and Zero has landed a couple of big hooks. Meanwhile, we do see Cola back into lane here, and already giving Koro a little bit of a run for his money. Now he's got a couple more levels behind him.
Yeah, this time he's got backup, though. I'm surprised Insect showed so early, though. It may open up some Clear Love fight. They're just going in. Insect's still there.
Cola getting hit up. Good dodge on that. Insect decides to go in. He does have the safeguard to get out. It will be Clear Love trying to get this slow in, but you can see Coral backing off already. Communication there fully for EDG. And it's only known that both junglers are top now.
You can really see the damage potential there from Koro and how Clear Love has been counter-ganking quite well up until this point. Korn, though, looks like he's made it in here undetected. What the?
Going crazy at level 5. Not even with the ultimate on this one. And not even close to getting it. So he's just going for a little bit of what's going on in EDG's jungle. Does find where Clear Love was, but they knew he was top lane at that point. 48 to 46 here as we check out the bottom lane. You can see FCZF slowly trying to gain brush control, get into position for a good Winter's Bite. And it's just been forcing Uzi and Zero off for now. But keeping that CS up, as I said.
And not a good early game for Royal Club once again. After losing that last game to a huge goal deficit and being the stronger early game team when you look at this matchup, the lanes they have picked, especially early on in the game, are just weaker, straight up. The Fizz is not supposed to beat the Ori, the Vayne is not supposed to beat the Lucian, and Cola got ganked for first blood.
And when they get pushed in, they're going to have hardly any wave clear coming from this team, so it's only going to get more difficult as they get pushed into their own base. Good forward wards pushed in by EDG. Looks like they'll be able to take advantage of those if they ever see Insect in the wrong spot. And it looks like he's going to be showing himself right here, so it'll be interesting to see what they do. Zero trying to get pressure on that Dragon. Already has a ward there. That's been a big point for these teams in the very, very early game here in this series.
7 minutes only into this one. We're going to start seeing the first respawns of the buffs. In fact, they have just respawned in both of those reds, and both junglers are in position already to take that. Did see you leave lane, so Korn got a bit of time to actually get himself back into the lead for this wave. Caller also has just hit level 6, and as soon as he dashes off to those minions, Koro just roots him up, throws down as much damage as he possibly can. Actually, double door and blade start for Kohler, so feeling like a little bit of health, a little extra life steal in there would have helped him survive this lane.
But it's really unfortunate he wasn't able to farm that much early. We've seen so many splendid Aurelia games from Wicked so far here at Worlds, and it's when he gets level 6, buys a Sheen, goes back to lane, and all in. So he almost always comes near to killing or kills. Here, yes, he came back to lane and was able to all in, but Koro is not nearly as unhealthy as he would have been if Cola had been able to afford that Sheen.
Oh, there's a hook onto FCZF, but no tower aggro means no follow through. Name will be able to put even more damage in from that one. Are they going to go for Uzi here? Felt like Name was thinking about it, decides against it. Lee Sin is coming around. They've seen him with the ward. Fizz was coming down as well, and, well, all a lot of nothing, really. They both back away.
Teleports up for Cola. They do have to be careful of what windows they have to work with here in the bottom lane. Coral could also make that play. You see Insect getting a bit of clear and wardage down. Actually, he's not able to clear anything still with his trinket ward. No sweeper yet there or sight stone. Still quite early in the game. Seeing this lane slowly push up. They grab a small advantage with the pressure they've been giving. Now level 6 is here to a level 5 of Zero. Looking to make that ultimate count.
Yeah, and this is a very slow controlled game early on that EDG is completely comfortable with. It's slow and controlled in the sense, but they are winning it, and if a team fight is to happen, they would have an advantage in the team fight. So the emphasis is really on Royal Club to either make something happen or start winning lanes, but Clear Love is in position with good wards to either tower dive or counter gank pretty much at will. Insect has been mostly irrelevant early on in this game.
To use there from Koro, and it looks like that dive.
Same story as early on in the game. Big minion wave, half health Aurelia, and a Kha'Zix in the wings.
However, this time Lee Sin is coming, but will Insect get there in time? There's a flash early from Kohler. Gonna get Room Prison though. Is the damage there to finish him off? It is. Insect comes through though. Gonna land onto Clear Love. He flashes away. Room Prison goes in. Insect goes to the wall. Can he get him?
Oh! But even so, it's a double kill for Clear Love. 2 games running, he has stepped up in a big way. They are shutting down Cola, and they're making it work for themselves.
And with the knowledge of the junglers down, we see that bottom lane going aggressive once again. EDG keeping that switch flipped here as they come into game 4, and the aggression comes out very big for them. 10 minutes in, a 2,000 gold lead exactly, and it looks like they're going to be able to start getting some damage on these turrets, maybe actually fully taking it down as well if they want to in this case. Zero's going to do what he can to clear it out. The Relic Shield's coming up. He should be able to pop these out nice and easy.
This early game has just been so well done by the book by EDG. They take their stronger lane bottom. So if Royal Club wants to match them, they'll win. They know that Ori is stronger than Fizz there. They know their one point of vulnerability is the rise potentially to an Aurelia. So Clear Love just camps the lane through and through, relying on the strength of the other two lanes to withstand the insect ganks, and it has worked out completely according to plan.
Clanton going in to check out, and they'll spot Clear Love in the backside as well. And one thing we usually see, you know, with the Lucians, going back to get a pickaxe for that lane, actually waited a lot longer this time around. Came back in with a BF sword, and that'll be up against the Cutlass Berserker Greaves for Uzi, who's slowly but surely started to fall behind in CS. Mid lane similar, there's a 20 CS difference in the top lane. So far, so good for EDG, and they find themselves 2,000 gold up in this match before the 12-minute mark.
Yeah, I mean, if last game told us anything, it's that Royal Club can still win team fights when down in gold, but they had Rumble Twitch last time, and Ori. These things are just not existing in this match. Maybe if Korn lands some remarkable sharks on Fizz, they can make something happen, but the team fight potential of this team is just so much lower than last game. Not to mention, they're not able to make these plays in lane, and they're also not roaming with their assassins or basically assassins. Aurelia and Fizz both play somewhat similar at this point in the game, but because they're controlled in lane, they can't do that.
And I think that was a great idea by EDG to switch up for more mid-game as well. We saw Name with the Triss pick in the beginning. None of these are going late game. They're not able to get that farmed up, so Uzi's definitely going to have to take his time here unless they are feeding him kills as before to get him going early and earlier. The 2,000 gold lead still sits, but this is where EDG can't be comfortable with that 2,000 gold lead. Royal Club will make the moves to take it back instantly. See Clear Love getting those deep wards in again to stop Insect from making any roundabout plays. It looks like he's going to be walking through another ward in the bot near Dragon, and he may be seen by this one as he tries to enter the jungle, but I think he's safe on this one. We'll see what happens.
And Kohler really up the creek, I think, without a paddle at this stage. You know, Phage in there really needs to get up to that Trinity Force, and in that time, Rise managed to get his tier stack in, the Catalyst in there, the Glacial Shroud just to make that Aurelia that less effective, and can't really see him having too much impact on that lane in a 1 versus 1 now. We'll see how that changes. Those Korn is waiting, but I'm not sure what he's waiting for. That red buff is already gone. Insect came across there as well, but both you and Clear Love were already there. They'd taken the guts.
And Royal Club is just hoping to find a skirmish. They know the laning game isn't working that well for them, and they want to fight before big explosive team fights break out. That's why they're hoping to get a catch at the red buff, but the commit just never exposed itself. You could see they consider the Dragon for a short time, but honestly, a Dragon at this point against EDG would most likely just be disaster.
You drawn out a lane, forced to go back, a very big minion wave in middle. Cola trying to stay safe under the turret. It's low right now, and it could go down very soon, so that could be just a teleport out for Core. It'll make something happen for the team as well if he gets that in the one-on-one. Korn grabbing his blue, maybe to be aggressive here at the next Dragon if they can even get it. It looks like Koro's just going to leave this turret up. He wants Cola to have a reason to be up here. He wants Cola to have a hard time.
Yeah, Koro is going to push this one through. That turret's going down on this wave. Can't really see them being able to hold on to that one, especially since Cola has now gone home. His TP is back, but he's going to have nothing to TP onto because that tower is a goner. So now we'll leave EDG then up by 3,000 gold at this point.
Well, their timing of the Dragon was actually very poor here. So at least Royal Club can pick up that. Name is super powerful with an Infinity Edge, but not a very simple way or place to exert his power. If we're looking at EDG, since they gave up the Dragon, they pretty much want to go take the mid lane and bottom lane turrets. That's probably the next where they're going to be looking. And they have total control of this jungle up here.
And that's a face check from Korn right into the brush that's already warded, throws out the shot. Koro will flash under the tower, maybe a little bit deep. Oh! Insect missing the easiest kill that might be offered up to him today. And EDG walk away, they don't kill Korn. but they may be able to kill off the turret with 3 men there.
That could have been a kill easy for Insec if he lands that Sonic Wave, but because he did not, they're losing turrets around the map. Name could push off Uzi easily because of that Infinity Edge, and that's the 3 turret to 0 advantage. Dragon be damned, they have a big lead.
The surge in gold, and that's going to mean items completed here for EDG now, and items being stalled out. Cola looking for that Triforce, actually puts boots in his inventory first as well, so making that even farther away towards the middle game, and he's not going to be providing too much in these fights just yet. Lichbane, however, finished onto Korn, can make some impact plays there. It doesn't look like this blue is going to go to much use.
No, really not, because they're down 3 turrets and they can't force skirmishes. Yep. And I don't feel like Royal Club will be able to force very good skirmishes for quite a while now. I specifically look at Cola and his struggling series now, what it is becoming these last 2 games. He hit his power spike on Rumble, Haunting Guy's Sorcerer Shoes, because he ended up finishing a Leandri's before his Sorc Shoes, like super late into last game, 25 to 27 minutes in, he finished that. And Aurelia is another champion who really relies on that mid-game power surge, but he's not going to have Trinity Force for a long time. He's still got another 1,400 or so gold to go. No, more than, well, he's got 1,000 in his inventory. So another 1,400
at least 200 for the Sheen.
That. And by the time he hits his mid-game power spike, he may be done for.
This does not look safe right now. Chum the Waters comes out. Will they be able to answer onto Korn here? Korn still gets himself a kill and a 1-for-1 that cost everybody to really converge onto that one. A hook coming in. Name a little too far forward. Glacial Fissure to save his life. And over the wall comes you with the flash. The shockwave misses, but it's really just for show on this one. Cola will still fall. They'll have their time with the turret, and EDG collapsing much better here than Royal Club.
And we're talking about mid-game power spikes. Try an Infinity Edge onto your Lucian right now, who is just wrecking face in those skirmishes, versus a Fizz who, yes, he could burn his skills on Clearly, but the collapse just was not there. EDG in just as much control as they were early game last game.
Possibly more so. I mean,
yeah.
Royal Club have not been able to do anything this game, losing out on farm in every lane except the bottom lane. Even there, super, super close, which props to Uzi, really. I mean, he's been up in a difficult lane against that Braum Lucian, but what impact is he going to have? And he's got to have the impact now, because he is the one that, I mean, they've been relying on him already in this best of 5. He's been the one that's been funneled all those kills, been given the extra farm, been given the gold.
He is the one with pressure on, actually Korn, the one with pressure on himself right now, able to playful and trickster over the wall, dodging quite a bit out here, throws the Chum the Waters onto Clear Love, and he gets out safely. What are you doing, Korn? Trying to get the kill for himself. He takes down Clear Love. He's so happy to go 1-for-1 in any of these engages.
Yeah, and then Royal Club tries to find a kill on the other side of the map as well. All those things kind of helping Royal Club this skirmish game. The fact that Korn could get a kill while down in the game, 1v3, really opened up some opportunity here for Royal Club, but that's still Name unanswered.
Yeah, Infinity Edge, Zeal, Berserker Greaves hammering away on that bottom inner turret is what I was trying to get out. Zero not the person to stop him, and Name will take that one. It's the second inner turret of the game. Name is going to keep going here, at least get rid of this one minion wave. Insect started to come out. Name backs off.
Stellar play so far coming in from EDG in a 6,000 gold lead. No pressure here from Cola on the top turret. Not really sure of what's around him, only wards behind him. Definitely could have gotten some damage onto that turret, and he is 136 to 98, so he needs to take all the CS that's coming towards him, and it's unfortunately not pushing towards him at this time. Coming up on 20 minutes into the game, Royal Club trying to pick up the resources they can in their jungle, and very impressive from EDG, a game now where they have the lead, but they didn't do anything early game tricky to get that. No. They've been playing the lanes great.
They played everything by the book. They saw they had a team comp advantage in the laning phase, and they just exploited that to perfection this game. They've really turned it on in these last 2 early games. And honestly, it's still very perplexing, this team composition from Royal Club. Uzi having so much impact on Twitch these last few games, but it's almost like Royal Club, because they didn't have the Orianna, wasn't willing to do any type of protecting Uzi comp. They say, all right, play Vayne, do your thing. But against Arise, who's very quickly approaching Frozen Heart, that thing is dying to rise. It doesn't win them the game.
And you think that if you're going to run a protect an Uzi comp, when he's got Bane, that might be a great time to protect an Uzi comp as well.
They had the Lulu and they hovered it, but they decided to go Fizz instead. Lulu would actually be one of the better Vayne protectors.
Stacking up here on the inner tower, the last one that remains for Royal Club. At this rate, they're going to be inside their base before we hit 22 minutes. There's a hook coming out. It lands on a minion, though. There is Insect, though, going deep, but they lock him up and finish him off. That's the tower gone down. Royal Club have to back off.
Rune Prison MVP right there for Insect. He's completely shut down the instant he goes in. That first pick rise paying huge dividends. And they're just going to keep pushing this.
And not only is that rise a pain in the butt for Uzi diving in, but Insect has been red on basically all his kicks since half of last game and right into this one. Not being kicked back anymore or taking the flashes to pull him farther into the fight. EDG has it figured out. They get away clean with the top turret and taking out Insect. Korn has been floating in the wings the whole time here, still not doing much for the team. And again, a blue buff just kind of go to waste here. Only experience for him. They have great wards here, breadcrumb wards everywhere to see what EDG is doing, so they're going to be able to set up for this.
But will they be able to challenge? Royal Club is going to chase them through. They might just challenge because that's what Royal Club have been doing. However, I'm not sure that it's going to end well for them. In the end, though, that dragon is gone. They're not close enough to fight. They may try and get them if they push on through. There's the Q
so risky
onto
to fight.
FDZF. They've got Uzi on the top side, but Name said, come here, I want to kill you. And they may just do it. It's clear love that gets it, and now they collapse on everyone else.
That's the chum the waters coming out from Korn. They are able to take down FCZF. A bit of heal for the fight. EDG is coming up huge on this one, though. Clear love over the wall, trying to get himself a kill after the reset, forcing Zero to flash. And EDG get Dragon, turn around, and push away Royal Club.
And the way EDG can team fight with this composition is like a bulldozer. Anything in their path dies. There is just not enough team fight, AoE damage, tankiness, whatever you want to call it on Royal Club's team, that EDG will win. They see Uzi, they kill Uzi, and now they kill Baron.
Coming at you like a wrecking ball.
Pretty much.
Calm down, Miley. Got Fizz coming in. Name steps out there. Korn will dodge away, and that Baron is going down. Meanwhile, you chasing his counterpart from the mid lane. One more auto attack will do it. Dodges out of tower range and gets back to the rest of his team.
Smooth plays all around, at least to disengage on that one. But this, not so smooth indeed. Insect taking it a little too deep without the team to be able to give help.
Here's the thing. Uzi wanted to flank around the side of the fight because he was hoping that Rise would try and shut down Insect at that point, and then maybe he could get to some squishy targets. But Koro has better ideas. He's been completely on point these last two games, knowing his priorities at this point, and he just runs straight at Uzi to shut him down.
That might have been more successful if he was Twitch, if he was invisible, coming in from that side. Didn't work out for him this time, and Suzi's first death of the game. Cat sat on 0-1-0 at this point of things, but compare that with Name, 3-0-4, Trinity Force, Infinity Edge, Fisher's going wide, they're going for an inhibitor, they're going to try and go for Korn, and well, he's blown to pieces without anything to say. Insect's not in the base. Kohler, he's going to try and maybe come from behind, but it's going to be last-ditch stuff here from Royal Club.
Things are not getting any better for Royal Club. They're going for a quick win this time. 4v5, but they are so strong.
EDG gonna take a sub 25-minute game. This could be unheard of right now. They hit Korn so fast he couldn't even use the Zanyas. They even know they can get more kills before this goes down. They are completely silencing Royal Club right now. This could be going to a game 5 right now. It's gonna have to be a go for broke fight. A great kick from Insect, but he's not able to provide anything else as he goes down in the fight. 1-5-2 on this game on his champion. The box goes down, but nobody's gonna be forced to walk into it. Nami just getting out of range when he does go down. Can the team recuperate the fight? It looks like they might be pushed out, and Uzi wants it, but he takes 75% damage off a move and dissonance from Unstoppable.
That's all but the icing on the cake right there for EDG, because they have completely devastated Royal Club's base. We know the team comps aren't good at team fighting. Yes, they gave up a few kills to Korn, but they can persevere this time. You saw it at the end of that fight when you basically chunked Uzi for all that he was worth. It was a great kick by Insect to try and delay this game, and honestly, some amazing stealth play by Uzi here to distract Name and Yu. They all wanted to hit him, but every time they would try and turn, he'd become invisible. He just wasn't letting himself get smoke casted on. Really good play by Royal Club to keep the game alive at this point, but it had been followed up by 24 and a half previous minutes of ineptitude where EDG was just stopping them in every single way because of a much better team composition and really smart play.
And frankly, EDG could have won the game there. I think they want to get more kills to prolong this game and make it all the more painful for Royal Club. Kind of say, you know, you were sat on this 2-0 victory. You're always talking about how communication's a problem, about how Insec and how Uzi are two short-tempered players that it's a good job that they don't speak the same language as what Zero said, because it could be a problem for the team. If you can get them down, if you can get them arguing amongst themselves going into a final game 5, that's how you beat this team even more.
Short-tempered and short on kills this game. We saw a double kill going there to Korn that easily could have been Uzi's. Kills he needs right now on Vayne as hard as they're getting pushed in. So the communication is definitely falling out on that, as we saw it happening with Twitch.
And here EDG goes. I feel like they're just going to try and rush in here as soon as some super minions start hitting the Nexus. Remember, there will require a pretty big defense because the Nexus turrets do not exist, so they can't kill those super minions in the middle lane.
Crazy stuff coming in from EDG. Very surprising for them to just kind of turn this around and bring out not a new style, but a style we haven't seen from them very much before. 27 minutes in, they look to drop one of the last inhibitor turrets here. Like we said, there's no Nexus turrets behind this, so the next minion wave, they're going to get a super minions, and the mid lane is really going to be a pain in the butt here for Royal Club. They've got a lot of things on their plate. Let's see how good they are at multitasking.
Well, EDG, I believe, are going to do this one by the book and head up towards that top side. Keep this one dragging out. They've got a lot of minions coming in there.
This'll be it.
On to Thresh. They're going to go straight for it now. They've had enough of messing around. They want to finish the game. Out comes Korn. What can he do? Name actually going low. Zhonya's will be popped by Korn. Kohler trying to get up to Name, but Name lives through it. They manage the 2 kills. They'll push around. Uzi will tumble away, but the Nexus is open for the taking. EDG going. Insect, one last attempt at the back, but it won't count. The Nexus goes down. We're going to game 5.
And here we are now, one game to decide which team from the LPL makes it to the semifinals, actually. And it's what we wanted. We wanted to see these teams battle it out. Many thought this one would go 5.
Yeah.
But just not in this fashion.
Not this fast. We're at 5 games, about 27 to 30 minutes on each game coming in. And EDG just punishing any mistake now that Royal Club makes, especially in the end there. You can see the composition that we were talking about Royal Club brought to the table. Didn't have wave clear. They had to fight that. They had to say, we got to kill these guys before we can even kill the minions. It's going to be too much.
And this series has just flipped in completely the opposite direction.
Yeah.
First game, super one-sided for Royal Club. Pretty close second game. Pretty close third game. Completely one-sided on the other side. The question is, can they bounce back up the hill again? I would hate to be Insec right now, just because the Insec curse exists. It's a thing that has happened to him so many times in his past. It even happened in the LPL playoffs.
And because we're only looking at Uzi here, I can't see the rest of his team, but
I think they've left.
I think they've all left. He's certainly got no one to his right-hand side. And it seems weird to me as well to pick, you know, the likes of Irelia, Fizz, Vayne, champions that you probably want to have these, you know, small skirmishes with it. Champions that you want to get snowballing, but play such a passive early game against the best passive early game team in China.
You really have
Uzi's
to wonder
devastated.
what's
Absolutely
happening.
dejected in this. You have to say, though, any emotion we've seen very much so from AD carries. They've taken a moment to step back, and then they've came out gigantic in these tournaments. Can history repeat itself for Uzi? There's so much pressure on him. The rest of the team, and now as they were talking about short tempers, they have to be flaring.
Yeah, and Uzi was completely unable to make an impact in that last game, whether it was from the champion pick or whether it was from the team's champion select in general. And this is the last time you want to be apart from your team. Right before game 5 of the deciding game. You can see some of his teammates coming out to support him here, seeing if everything's all right even as the referee checks in. But they got to prepare for game 5.
Shaking his head and... No.
I don't think he wants to move.
Doesn't want to move. Stay concentrated. Stay in the seat.
He wants the game to
Get ready
happen.
for game number 5. Absolutely insane stuff here in Busan. A 2-0 lead for Royal Club. It's now gone 2, and we're going to go into game 5. But before we do that, we're going to have an in-depth look